Okay, next concept is experience fragment. And also called XF. XF is the shortcut of the experience fragment. So this experience fragment also is a small part of the web page. Small part of the web page. And it will store in the form of seq-equivalent page. So basically when you create a pages by using sites console, it will store in JSON repository in the form of seq-equivalent page node type. Even this experience fragments also will store as a seq-equivalent page. But these experience fragments are not the complete pages. Not the complete pages. Small part of the web pages. Example, header and footer. Example, header and footer is the best example for experience fragment. So here header is a small part of the web page. Even footer also same, small part of the web page. Small part of the web page. Let's say if you create a page in JSON repository, it will store under content, news portal, and then US, EN, and articles. Let's say articles is the page or article 1 is the page. Article 1 is the page. The node type of this article 1 is seq-equivalent page. Seq-equivalent page. Similarly, this experience fragments also will store under content. Experience fragments also will store under content under experience fragments. Experience fragments is the location. Content experience fragment is the location. So news portal is for the root page of the news portal project. Experience fragment is a root page of the experience fragments. All the experience fragment will store under content experience fragments. So you will find out news portal, US, EN, and site, header and footer are the two different. Header and footer is the two different experience fragment under content experience fragment. If you go to this location and check the node type, the node type must be seq-equivalent page because experience fragment is a small part of the web page. It will store in the form of seq-equivalent page. It will store in the form of seq-equivalent page. The best example, header and footer. If you deploy your news portal project, you will find out these two experience fragment in your content. In your content, you will find out these two experience fragments. Then how to refer this header and footer inside these pages? So here header is a small part of the web page. Footer also a small part of the web page. Let's say if you want to refer this header and footer inside article, how to refer it? JCR content is mandatory child node and root. Under root, you have to drag and drop experience fragment component. Experience fragment is a component. So this is one out-of-box component. This is one out-of-box component. By using this component, we have to refer this header and footer inside the pages. Either we can refer experience fragment inside the page or inside the templates. Based on the requirement, we can refer this experience fragment either pages or in templates. But experience fragment component is required. Experience fragment component is required in order to refer this header and footer experience fragments. Once you drag and drop experience fragment component inside the root or inside the container in article 1, this content node will generate and open the dialog and configure experience fragment path. Header. So we have to refer the location of the experience fragment by using this experience fragment component. So this is the introduction about the experience fragment. Then what is the use case of this experience fragment? This experience fragment can be useful to define global content in global location, and we can refer this global content wherever it required. let's say header. Header and footer is a global content. Global content are also called common content. This content is required in multiple places, maybe in article template or product template or payment template, article page template. Let's say if you have 10 templates, in all template, if you need same header, create one experience fragment. The experience fragment will store in this location and refer this experience fragment by drag and dropping experience fragment component, and then refer this experience fragment path by using this experience fragment component. The main purpose of experience fragment is to define the global content, or also called common content. So advantages with this approach, we can easily manage the common content. Let's say header I have created under content experience fragment and refer in multiple places, maybe 10,000 places I have referred the same header. So after a couple of days or couple of months, if you want to update this header, go to the experience fragment, make the required changes in the header. The changes will reflect in all places wherever it referred. Wherever it referred, in all places, the changes of this header will reflect. Because we are referring this header experience fragment by using this component. This is the source location, and this is one reference. If you update the header, all the sources will update. All the content of the sources will update. So this is one advantage of this experience fragment. Then how to create experience fragment? How to create an experience fragment? It is similar to page creation. If you want to create a page, you need editable templates. If you want to create a page, if you want to create any content page, you need editable template. Editable template is required.
Yeah.
In order to create editable template,
what are the features of this experience fragment component in general? Where do we use
header and footer?
What are the features of this experience fragment? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, this component will be useful to refer the existing experience fragment. So here in this location, header and footer physically available in JCR repository. If you want to render the header experience fragment inside this article 1 page, we can't refer directly. First, we have to drag and drop experience fragment component, and then we can browse and identify the required experience fragment. I will show you in the live, okay, how to use this component.
Got it.
Okay, template type is required, and to create the template type, page component is required, right? So these are the required steps to create a web page. In order to create one web page from Sites console, first we need editable templates. To create editable template type is required. To create a template type, page component is required. The same steps is required for experience fragment also. To create experience fragment content, except editable template is required. To create except editable template, except template type is required. To create except editable template, except page component is required. The same steps are required for experience fragment also. Because experience fragment is a small part of the web page, it will store in the form of equivalent page. In the form of equivalent page. So these are the steps. To create experience fragment editable template is required. To create editable template, experience fragment template type is required. To create experience fragment template type, except page component is required. But this except page component is already available. This except page component is already available. If you go to your code base and open use portal components, Xf page is one of the default component. It will be available under apps. If you deploy the news portal project, this component would be available in this location. This component would be available in this location. Yes, we can create our own Xf page component if any customizations are required by simply copy pasting this component and make the required changes. So this is the first step to create one experience fragment, but this is optional step. We can use existing or default experience fragment page component rather than creating from the scratch. Even template type also available. Even template type also available. We don't need to create the template type from the scratch. Template type is available. Even template also available. Template also available. I already shown you how to create editable template from the scratch, how to create template type, how to create page component. If you want to customize this experience fragment page component or template type or editable template, we can follow the same steps. What are the steps we have executed for custom page component and custom editable template type, custom editable template? We have executed the same step we can execute for experience fragment editable templates also. But let's use an existing component and template type and template. News portal, components, Xf page is already available. So this is the default component with the news portal. We don't need to create from the scratch. Let's say if you need some customizations in the page component, in experience fragment page component, simply copy paste and make the required changes and then use that component. And one more important point here, this component should extend out of box Xf page component. This is out of box Xf page component. It would be available under libs. Libs CQ experience fragments component Xf page. Xf page. Xf is a custom component, but it would be available with the news portal project. When you create a new project by using latest org type, and this component would be available, and this component will extend out of box Xf page component. It is similar to our page component. Our page component will extend out of box V3 page component. Check this page component implementation. This is used for editable template creation. And this page component extend out of box V3 page component. And this Xf page component will extend out of box Xf page component. So this component is available. Let's use this component for template type creation. Even template type also available. Let's go to conf folder, news portal setting WCM, template type. Xf is the template type. Xf is the template type. Internally it will refer Xf page component. This is also default component. Internally it will refer Xf page component. So template type also available. And template also available. Xf web variation is the template. Xf web variation is the template. So once you have the template, we can create experience fragment. We can create experience fragment. If it is a web page, we have to go to sites console. Similarly, we have one more console called experience fragment console. From that console, we can create experience fragment. Because web pages are a different content. Experience fragments are the different content. So that's why we have two different consoles to create web pages and experience fragment content. Let's go to the experience fragment console to create our first experience fragment by using existing editable template type. Go to the welcome screen first. In the welcome screen, you'll find out the multiple options: projects, sites, experience fragment, and assets and personalization and content fragments. So far, we have used these sites to create web pages, and assets also used to create the content, to create the assets like uploading the images, documents, and videos. We can use this assets console. And the next one is experience fragment. Click on this experience fragment. It is similar to sites console. From the sites console, we can create web pages. From the experience fragment console, we can create experience fragments. Click on news portal. Check this path here. Check this path here. It is pointing to content experience fragments. And the news portal, this entire structure also created when you deploy the news portal. News portal, US, EN, and site, and header and footer is already available. This is the default location, but you can create experience fragment anywhere in your project. Anywhere in your project. Just for the practice purpose, let me delete this header and footer. Let me delete this header and footer. Yes, I have deleted. And then create header and footer from the scratch. Create header and footer from the scratch. Just click on create and select experience fragment. And select the web variation template. Don't select this editable template. Editable template is a one of the template type would be useful to create web pages. So we should not use this editable template for the creation of the experience fragment. So there is a dedicated template type or template or editable template is available to create experience fragment. Select this web variation. Web variation is one of the editable template to create experience fragments. Select this one and click on next. Header is the title. Click on create. Click on done. Click on create. Experience fragment. Web variation. Click on next. Footer. And click on done button. Header and footer. Two different experience fragment has been created. And let's edit the header first. Let's edit this header first. Click on edit. And go to edit mode. So one place folder is available. In this place folder, based on our requirement, we have to add our component. But to implement our news portal project, we have to add top bar component, brand logo component, and navigation component. Let's add these three components. Top bar component, brand logo component, and navigation component. See, the navigation component is not visible to add. Navigation component is not visible to add. So update the policy of this container. So we are in template editor. In the template editor, we are in edit mode. Oh, sorry. We are in experience fragment editor. We go to the template editor. This is not the template. Header is an experience fragment. Go to template editor by clicking edit template. And go to the structured mode. And click on this container and update the policy to allow the new component. Search with navigation. Yes, navigation is available under news portal structure. Click on done button. So this is the template. Except web variation is the template, and by using this template, we have created header experience fragment. In order to allow the new component, we have to update the policy of this container in template editor. The process is same for pages also. Let's say if you are not able to edit, if you're not able to add a new component into page editor, go to the template of that page and update the policy of the container to allow the new component. Refresh it once. Now add navigation component. Navigation component. Yes, I have added top bar component and navigation brand logo component and navigation component. But designs are not updating. So designs are not applied. See, in the top bar component, I'm not able to see any content in top bar component. If you want to see the number of component which is used in this page, go to edit side panel and go to the content tree. See, total 3 components are added in the header experience fragment. Top bar component, brand logo component, and navigation component. Let me edit the top bar component and configure the email ID and mobile number and right side navigation links. See, the top bar component, email ID, phone number, and right side navigation link is displaying. But design is not applying for this top bar component or brand logo component or navigation component. If the design is not applying means client library is not loading for this page. Client library is not loading for this experience fragment page. Then how to apply client library to this page? So we can't apply to this page because we have to update a template level. If you apply a particular client library in template level, it will affect on all the pages which is created by using this template. Go back to the template editor, click on page information, click on page policy, and click on add button, add news portal desktop client library. News portal desktop client library. And refresh this header. Refresh this header now. See, the design is applied. Now the client libraries are loading. That's where the design is applied for top bar, brand logo, and navigation components. Navigation component. Click on the brand logo and configure the logo. Logo link is en, and logo image is logo.png, and alt text, brand logo, and open new tab. Click on the logo for display. So now the header experience fragment implementation is completed. It is stored under content. Experience fragment news portal USEN sites header is the experience fragment. Then what is this master and why it is generated? Master is a variation. Master is one of the variation of this header experience fragment. So we can't change this name. This is the default variation name of this header experience fragment. When you edit any experience fragment, by default it will open this master variation only. We can create n number of variation in the same header. So I will explain later about this header variation. But as of now, remember master is the default variation of the header experience fragment. And if you want to see this content node structure in JCR repository, copy this path and go to CRXDE. And go to CRXDE. Master, JCR content, root, top bar, brand logo, and navigation. Check the master. Master type is equivalent page. And this is a page structure. This is also a page structure, but this is not the complete page. Header is an experience fragment. Inside header experience fragment, master is a variation. But this master also a web page. And JCR content and root, under root, top bar component. In the top bar component, we have configured email ID and phone number and right now. And brand logo component and navigation component. Navigation component. This is the location of the experience fragments in JCR repository. So similarly, let's implement footer also. Let's implement footer also. Footer also. Click on edit. Add footer component. Add footer component. Yeah, footer component design is displaying, but we have to configure content for each list. Each list. Footer list 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 times we have used this footer list component. So rather than configuring each and every footer list component in this footer experience fragment, let me copy paste the content node from the existing template. The template we already configured the content. Article template, footer, under footer. So these are the different content nodes. Copy this node. So we are in article template. In the previous session, we already configured this footer. Footer in article template. In the structured mode, we have drag and drop the footer component and configure this footer list 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Copy this entire node structure to save the time. Footer, master variation, JCR content, root. Delete this one and paste the existing footer node. See. Footer is an experience fragment, master is the variation, and inside master variation, root is a container, and again footer is the component. Inside the footer component, we are referring footer list component 5 times. Even content also copy pasted from template. Yes, done. Okay, so successfully we have created header and footer experience fragments. Header and footer experience fragment. Under header, master is the variation. Under master, JCR content is the page. Under JCR content, root is a node. Under root, so we have added top bar component and brand logo component and navigation component. Similarly for footer also. Footer also. Under footer, master is the variation, JCR content, root. Under root, footer is the component again. Footer is the component. Inside footer, there is multiple footer list components. Footer list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the node structure we have created in JCR repository by using Experience Fragment Editor. So we have edited this header and modified this master variation. In the master variation, there is a root container. In this root container, we have added these 3 components and configured the content. And we have done the same for footer also. In the footer, master is the default variation, and then refer the JSR content also default content node, root, and footer is the component. In the footer component, we have added this footer list 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So header is created and footer is created. Then how to refer this content? How to refer this content into another pages or template? So here, Footer is a small part of the web page because this is an experience fragment. As we discussed, every experience fragment is a small part of the web page. Even this footer also a small part of the web page. And header also a small part of the web page. So we have to refer this header and footer into the web pages. Either we can refer in web pages or templates. Again, that depends on the requirement. We can refer either in template level or page level. Let's configure a template level. In the template level, we already added top bar, brand logo, and navigation components and footer component. Let's delete those components and refer this header and footer experience fragments. General, go to templates, news portal, article template, edit the article template. Edit the article template. This is the location of our template. Conf is the default location. News portal, settings, WCM, and templates. Under templates, article template, and structure is one of the mode. And here, JCR content is the node, and root is one more node. Or root is one more node. So here we are going to use experience fragment. Experience fragment under the structure of article template. So let me delete all this component. This component no longer required at template level. And delete this one also. Okay. So at present in my article template structured mode, only one component is available, that is a container component. And this container is available inside this root. Inside this root. Now I would like to add experience fragment component above this container. Above this container, let's add experience fragment component. This is one of the out-of-box component. We don't need to implement from the scratch. So this is one of the out-of-box component. Add this component. This component is added. Add one more component below container component. But componenting is same. Use the same experience fragment. Total 2 times I have used the same component. Check this hierarchy now. Experience fragment and container. This container is unlocked one, and again experience fragment. Now edit this experience fragment and refer header experience fragment. News portal, USEN sites, header, and select the variation. So header default variation is master. Select this. Click on OK. Check this path and click on done. When you refer this experience fragment by using experience fragment component based on this path, it will pull the content of this header master variation and render here. Click on done button. See, whatever the content we have created in header master variation, that content is referring here. So this content won't be available in article template structure mode. The source of the content is an experience fragment. We are referring that content in editable template by using experience fragment component. We are referring. Go to CRXD if you want to see the references. So we are editing article template structure JCR content, right? Refresh it once. See experience fragment and check the path. Fragment variation path. Fragment variation path. Check the value. So this component pull the data based on this fragment variation path property. This component code pull the content of this header master variation data and render into article template. And let's configure footer also. News portal USEN sites footer, master is a variation. And click on done. See here. Now the header and footer is displaying in my article template. Header and footer is displaying in my article template. But both are two different experience fragments. Both are two different experience fragments. And we are rendering that experience fragment content in this template by using experience fragment component. Let's say if you want to edit this email ID or phone number, we can't edit from here. We can't edit from here because this is the template. In the template, experience fragment is a component, and from that component, we are referring master variation of the header experience fragment. The source is not available in this template. If you want to edit, click on this edit button. It will open header master variation editor. Click on edit. Directly it will open header master variation experience fragment editor. Experience fragment editor. So that means from the reference, we can't modify the content. From the source only, we can modify the content. Because the same header experience fragment, we can refer in multiple places. Now, if you make the changes here, wherever you refer this header master variation, in all places, the changes will reflect. Let me modify this email ID, Chamu0002. Click on done button and refresh this template. See, the changes has been updated in this template also. Because this template is referring header master variation of the experience fragment. If you change the source, automatically the changes will reflect in all references. If you refer the same header master variation 10 templates, so we have 10 templates in my project. If you make the changes in the header experience fragment, if you are referring this variation in 10 different templates, the changes will reflect in all 10 templates. So this is an advantage of the experience fragment. The same thing will happen for footer also. If you go to a template and if you want to edit this content of this footer, we can't edit from here because this is the reference only. The actual content is stored in header experience fragment. Click on this edit button. It will open header master variation. Sorry, footer master variation. Check this one. Content experience fragment, news portal, USN, sites, footer, and master variation. From here, you can make the changes. The changes will reflect in all references. All references. Experience fragment. Fragment. Content path. So here, path of header master variation. Master variation. So similarly, we can refer in multiple places. Let's say we have multiple templates. In all templates, we can refer. In all template, we can refer. Let's say I have multiple template, article templates and product templates, product template. In all places, we can refer the same header. The same header we can refer in all places. Let's say CS template. For every project, at least 10 templates are required. If the project is a medium project, at least 10 different templates are required. We can refer the same header experience fragment in all 10 templates. In all 10 templates. Now, if you make the changes in header master variation, either top bar, brand logo, or navigation, the changes will reflect in all template. If the template is affected, all pages also will affect because we are referring in structured content. The structured content changes will reflect in all pages. Let's say if you create 20,000 pages by using this article template, 20,000 pages by using this article template. If the changes are affected in experience fragment, this template will affect. If this template is affected, all 20,000 pages also will affect. all 20,000 pages also will affect. So this is the use case of experience fragment. Experience fragment. Let me know if you have any questions in this use. Okay, I will explain one more use case. I will explain one more use case. Let's say I have article. Okay, my bad. Network got disconnected. Okay, 7,500. And Nishi also written 5,000 articles. 5,000. Since last 10 years, they have been returning the article. Total articles is 20,000. Out of 20,000, Ravi written around 5,000, Ramu 2,500, and Ramesh 1,500, and Nishi 5,000. But I have a requirement for every page, for every article page, I have to display the writer information. So, for example, Article 1. Article 1 is the page. By end of the page, there is a section to display the writer info. Writer info. Example, first name, last name, and email, and profile pic. Profile pic. I have to display this profile pic of this article writer. But this content is a reusable content. Let's say this article is written by Ravi. Article written by Ravi. And email ID is ravi.k@gmail.com and profile pic. But all 5,000 articles, the same information we have to display because Ravi written 5,000 articles. By end of all 5,000 articles, we have to display the same first name and last name and email ID and profile pic. In this case, this is a duplicated content. Let's say if you store this information at page level, for every page, we have to add this information. Yes, we can add it. That is not an issue. Maybe after a couple of days or couple of years. So we have to change this email ID or phone number. So in that case, that will be very difficult because it is referred in 5,000 places. In all 5,000 places, we have to update this mobile number or email ID. So that is a big headache. Content maintenance will become a big headache if there is a common content if you don't store at common location. If you don't store at common location, there will be big headache. But instead of storing this information at page level, so we have to create one experience fragment under content experience fragment, writer, and the default variation name is master. In this variation, I will store all the information. Okay, so this is the Ravi information. For example, this is the Ravi information. Then how to store the remaining people, Ramu and Ramya and Nishi information. So do you have to create one more experience fragment? No, not required. We can create the variations within the writer info. Within the writer info experience fragment, we can create a different variations. Next variation name is Ramya and Ramu and Nishi. So I'll create 4 different variations. Master is the default variation, it is pointing to Ravi. Next one is Ramya and Ramu and Nishi. I will create 4 different variations and then I will refer this content by using experience fragment into the article pages. So in this case, if you want to change any information about Ravi, go to this variation, update this content. If you update this content, wherever you are referring this variation in these article pages, in all pages, the content will reflect. The content changes will reflect. So this is one more use case of this experience fragment. So basically, if there is any reusable content, either template level or page level, so rather than creating each and every place, create one experience fragment variation and store that information in that variation and refer that variation wherever it required by using experience fragment component. So this is the use case of experience fragments. Any questions in this second use case? Any questions in this second use case? Yeah.
Chamu, the way, this, let's say, writer information that we created variations of it, right? Does it
Okay.
allow us to write sightly code or the way we learned in earlier sessions, right?
See, inside this variation, we have to use the component. Inside the component, we can write this cyclic code. For example, in our header, top bar is a component, right? Inside the top bar component, so there will be .html file. In that .html file, we'll write the HTML code. So this content components only. In the component, we can write the HTML code, but directly we can't write HTML code in these variations. So we have to put that HTML code inside a component and add that component into that variation. Even for the Ravi info also. So we have to create one component called profile, writer profile component, and it required dialog. In the dialog, we have to configure the first name, last name, email ID, phone number, and profile pic and about Ravi, and that data will store here. And these are the components only. Even the variations, these are the components only. Inside the component, we can write HTML code. Okay. So in the header, master is the variation. In the master variations, I have used top bar component, brand logo component, and navigation. And let's say this variation is referred in multiple template, article template, product template, and CS template. After a couple of days, I need to change this master variation in the CS template. In the customer stories template, I have to change the header. But this header is an experience fragment master variation. Experience fragment master variation. If you go to the header, experience fragment, and update this master variation in the top bar component, the changes will reflect in all template because total 3 templates are referring this master variation. If you make these changes in this master variation, the changes will reflect in all places, in article template, in product template, and CS template, because all 3 templates are referring master variation. In that case, rather than modifying the existing variation which is referred in multiple places, create a new variation. Create a new variation, for example, CS header. CS header is a variation. Create a new variation. So this variation also contains JSR content and root. And add the required component, top bar component, brand logo, or navigation component, or different components also we can use. And modify or configure different content. Modify or configure different content here. And then refer the CS header variation in CS template. In CS template, now it is pointing to master variation. Now change to master variation to CS variation template. CS variation template. Let's create a new variation for header and use that in article template or any other templates. Okay, so this is in header, and click on this side panel, and there is an option called create. Click on create. In the create, 2 options are available: variation and variation as live copy. Variation and variation as live copy. Variation means from the scratch we have to implement. You have to implement the variation. So when you create this variation, it's a simply display one placeholder. In that placeholder, again, we have to drag and drop top bar component, brand logo component, and navigation component, and configure the content. Let me create variation from the scratch by using create variation option. Select this variation, select this template type. Title is CS header. Name automatically generated based on the title, or else we can enter and click on done button. And click on done button. See, one more variation is created parallel to the header master variation. One more variation is created. Variation name is CS header. CS header. Go to CRXDE and refresh. Header is an experience fragment, right? And master is the variation. Refresh this header. One more variation is created. CS header. Expand JSR content root. This node structure is available. Again, based on the requirement, add the components. So for example, I'm adding top bar component and brand logo component. I'm adding navigation component. but configure different data here. So here I'm using cs.articles@gmail.com and 8899889900 is the contact number. And right now, articles, let's say article 2, click on done button and configure this brand logo. Click on done button. So this is the different variation inside the header. Variation in the header. Let's say if you want to use this header in article template, go to the article template, edit the experience fragment component dialog. Now it is referring master variation. Instead of master, select CS header variation. CS header variation. So we are referring CS header variation by using experience fragment in article template. Click on done. See, the content is referring here. Content is being referred here. So based on the requirement, we can create a different variation and we can refer that variation in different places. The same thing for authors also. So here, master is the default variation. Similarly, we can create different variation for the different writer. Even we can create hundreds of variations. There is no limit. There is no limit. And go back to the header. And let's create one more variation by using variation as live copy. Variation as live copy. So you can understand in more better way once the MSM concept is completed. So this is related to MSM, multi-stack management, but you can easily understand how it is working. Let's create variation as live copy. Before creating variation as live copy, check the default variation one. So we already in CS header variation. We already selected CS header variation. If you select any variation and click on variation as live copy, the new variation will create from this one. The new variation will create from CS header because we have selected CS header. If you select header, click on variation as live copy, the new variation will create from header. So while creating variation as live copy, please check the current version of the current variation. Now select variation as live copy. Name is product header. Title is product header. Click on done button. Click on done button. It's loading. Yes. Check the URL also change. Product header variation. Product header is the variation. But check this variation content. When you create CS header by selecting variation, there is no content. But when you create product header by selecting variation live copy, by selecting CS header, what are the content we have created in this header already copy pasted to product header. So here variation as live copy, simply create a new variation from the parent variation. So in this case, CS header is a parent variation, product header is a child variation. It maintains relationship also. If you use variation as live copy, it will maintain parent and child relationship also. So we have selected CS header and selected variation as live copy and created product header variation. In this case, CS header is the parent variation and product header is the child variation. Product header is the child variation. In the CS header, we have three components. In the CS header, we have three components: top bar component, brand logo component, and navigation component. In the product header also, we are having the same components and same content also. See, top bar component, brand logo component, and navigation component. So here product header is a replica of CS header. A replica of CS header. Even this component maintain the relationship with the parent header variation. So top bar of this child variation. Product header is the child variation. The topper component always maintain relationship with CS header topper component. This product header topper component always maintain relationship with CS header topper component. Go back to CS header and make the changes. So here instead of articles, I'm using CS products or CS notes. Click on done button. But the changes will not reflect immediately to the immediate child variation. Once you make the changes in the parent variation component, the changes will not reflect immediately into child. So we have to click on this rollout option. So rollout option is available. And it is available here. A rollout is option. It will be useful to move the changes from parent variation to child variation. So this is the child variation. Product header is the child variation. Click on rollout. Now continue. And go to the product header. The changes has been moved from parent to child. See, data is changed. Let's say I would like to give a different header for product header. So rather than using same CS header, I would like to use a different different header for product header variation. Click on this top bar and try to edit. See, I'm not able to edit top bar or brand logo or navigation components. I'm not able to edit it because there is a relationship between parent and child. If these two are in relationship, we can't change this child variation component directly. Child variation component we can't directly modify. We have to break that inheritance. At component level, we have to break the inheritance. Click on this cancel inheritance. In our child variation, click on component and click on cancel inheritance. Now you can edit this component. CS products. CS products done. So this is the second option in the variation creation. Variation as live copy. Variation as live copy. So in this case, if you want to update any content in your child variation, first break the inheritance. First break the inheritance and update this component. If it is an inheritance, we can't edit it. So we can edit from the parent variation and click on rollout the changes from parent to child variation. So this is the second variation as live copy. Variation as live copy. Even we can export this experience fragment to the third-party services. I will show you one example. For example, go to deshco.com. So here header also an experience fragment. Footer also an experience fragment. Footer also an experience fragment. This site is implemented with AIM as a cloud services. But when you click on login button, it will navigate to different website because this site is implemented with Azure AD B2C, single sign-on authentication. Click on login button. It will navigate to Azure AD B2C, Azure AD B2C portal. So this is a different website implemented with a different technology. But if you scroll down, the footer is same. The footer is same because we're exporting the footer from deshco.com website to this website. Deshco.com website to this website. Inspect element and check that request. Refresh. This is the request. See, plain is the selector. So ISS header and ISS footer is an experience fragments. Experience fragments, and plain is the selector. Plain is the default selector. It will be useful to export the content in HTML format. So for example, product header is one variation, right? So if you want to export this experience fragment to the third-party services, simply append plain selector. Simply append plain selector. Plain is the selector. It will be useful to export the content in HTML format. But it will work only for experience fragment. If you want to export this experience fragment variation to the third-party services, use this plain selector and then append the domain. Domain is, for example, desktopco.com or any domain, and hand over this URL to third-party services. They will send request to this .html file, and this HTML file will render header variation. Header variation. So this is also one of the interview question: how to export the experience fragments. So it is simple. Use plain selector to export experience fragment to the third-party services. If any one of the website which is not implemented with AEM, and if you want to consume this header, so the AEM site should export experience fragment by using plain selectors. By using plain selectors. So this is about experience fragment. Let me know if you have any questions in experience fragments. Any questions? Okay, thank you.